Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new day of WCS America here on the Tuesday the 27th of May. I'm of course Ken van der Kooi, also known as Rotterdam, and with me is Nathan Fabricant. Nate, how are you doing on this lovely Tuesday?
I'm feeling great. I feel like the colors, everything just seems to be so different today compared to before. We've got a lot of great players. 2 Terran players in this group. I'm super excited. This is probably one of the groups I've been looking forward to the most.
Yeah, we got a couple of heavy hitters today in action. It's cool to see as well because this is a really big month for StarCraft, and big months for StarCraft mean often big months for that guy on the top side of our bracket, TaeJa. Yes, that's right. Summer is getting closer, so perhaps TaeJa's winning record is going to go up a little bit again, as well as he's going to kick off our first game of the day against the Chinese Protoss player, Zenith of Origin Stop. And after that, we're also going to have Neep, the exciting, young, talented American Terran player, go up against, I wouldn't say unknown, but still a little bit of a mysterious Korean Zerg player, Czech. Czech's been around for a while. He's been playing in a lot of online tournaments, but he has yet to leave his mark on the scene to the global audience that everybody knows who Czech is.
Yeah, this is one of those groups where we have the clear favorite, TaeJa, and everybody else kind of has to pick up their weight and really show that they belong in the round of 16. Of course, we had Neeb make it in there from last season, getting to the round of 16 is one of his first live tournament appearances ever, showing some fantastic games, some cool TVT versus Pult in Season 1. But, you said it, Czech is also a very scary player when we look at him. Top, I think, has probably gotten around a little bit more. We talked about some of his other matches yesterday, particularly, I think, beating Violet last season's Challenger, was it?
Correct. And this season he did pretty much the same thing, playing against Kane, and also I might be surprisingly defeating Kane, because I think that Kane is an absolute star when it comes to North American players. So Top is a dark horse that you can never really count out, but I have a hard time imagining that Top is going to make it out of this group. Then again, he has surprised me many times. Unfortunately, Top has never made it out of the round of 32. He has gotten close so many times, and he's always done really good in the qualifiers, and he upsets some people, and he never goes down without a fight, but he hasn't made it to the round of 16 yet. Well, so many of his other Chinese fellows did. So it's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see if he's going to make it today. But going up against TaeJa in the first match, that's going to be really tough for him.
That's probably the last starting match that anybody wants, but at the very least, it's like the Band-Aid. You just rip it, get it over with, and then probably not going to have to play against TaeJa again. I don't think it's too crazy to say he should be the first player out of this group. He's got a lot of momentum behind him, of course. He had great results last year. Pretty much, I would try to mention a tournament, but he did pretty well in almost everyone except, no big WCS victories.
No, not yet, but we always say it's just a matter of time. We keep saying that, though. However, of course, we want to hear what you guys think about it. If you guys think like, Nathan, Roddy, what are you talking about? TaeJa's not that big of a favorite in this group. You guys know nothing. Do you even play this game? Let us know at #WCS. We'll be reading all of your tweets, and a couple of the tweets will be broadcasted, of course, as well. So we'd love to hear your opinion about things.
Yeah. Definitely would love to hear. But wait, guys, there's more. We've also started doing the ESL Fantasy League for StarCraft as well in WCS. So there's a big opportunity, of course. Go there, pick your favorite players that you want to look. It's at fantasy.eslgaming.com/SC2. 2 players from each region. You can pick who's going to make it to the finals, and your points, of course, are based off of how they play in their groups. So you can earn some internet bragging rights if you prefer to watch and do more of the strategizing of the fantasy aspect. So if that's a cool thing.
Now I want to know, Nate, if you pick Todd on your team, do you get bonus points for picking Todd?
I imagine that in fantasy rules, right? Players that are underrated or not maybe seen to go as far don't get the extra points, or they do.
But since it's us making this, Todd is probably like the heaviest hitter of the entire thing, right? It's like
you probably lose points for picking someone that's so obviously going to win it.
Exactly. That's basically saying that Todd is going to win WCS. Is like saying that like Brazil or Argentina or Germany is going to win the World Cup. It's like, yeah, everybody agrees with that. It's like, that's not right. So pick someone else other than Todd, guys. I think we all universally agreed upon the fact that Todd is going to win WCS Europe. But of course, let us know who you think is going to win America, and of course the GSL as well. It's going to be a lot of fun, but we are getting ready already, as we don't like to wait a long time to get our feet wet. Our first series of the day is coming up. It's going to be TaeJa versus Top, Terran versus Protoss. And Nate, we've said it many times, TaeJa the big favorite for today, at least if it comes up to us. You guys can disagree with us, but we definitely think that TaeJa is a massive favorite. However, in previous seasons, TaeJa has lost his first series of the day multiple times, and then he did set the record straight in his second and his third series.
Yeah.
However, maybe this is not as as set in stone as we think it is going to be.
Well, last season it was against Major, right? Dropped the first TVT series to him in round of 32 before being able to move forward, right? But yeah, was it Major in the TVT?
Yes. Yeah, it was Major. He lost in the first series with Day, and then he went back. Sorry, guys, we're a little bit distracted over here. But yeah, he lost against Major in the first series of the day, and then we restarted. And then Major made it to the finals match. I think Major lost to Hawk. Then Hawk advanced, and after that, TaeJa defeated Alive, and then he also defeated. We're just hearing like lots of funky things right now. But then he defeated Alive, and then he also defeated Major, and he played very strong in his second series of the day.
Yeah, so TaeJa is one of those players that we look at. We might have a repeat of what happened basically with Oz yesterday when he played versus QXE. If you guys weren't able to catch that, of course. Dropping the first series to the American player and then coming back, winning the next 2 series to get out of the group. Of course, we're getting everything just set up, making sure that we've got everything nice and ready for you guys to kick this series off. As you know, we are gonna start this off on Frost. I guess we should also mention. So nothing crazy as far as the maps go yet.
No, of course. I actually missed the veto process. I had a look at it earlier. I saw a lot of the vetoes were already done, but like it was done for 2 series at the same time. So I had a hard time keeping a close eye on it. But it's good to know we're going to kick things off on Frost. Once again, this is most likely going to be a pretty big month for TaeJa. He's one of the most accomplished players that we have in the scene. Not many people have won as many tournaments or just as many games in general. Home Story Cup is coming up. There's going to be a DreamHack and there's going to be an MLG as well. I'm not sure if TaeJa is going to go to all 3, but I do think it's very likely we're going to see him at least at 2 of the 3.
Yeah, I know for a fact TaeJa will be at DreamHack Summer. I was checking out that player list. Quite a nice tournament coming up. As you guys can see, though, we're loaded into this game, ready to kick off Group D of WCS America Premier League. Round of 32, our first player spawning in the bottom left position of Frost is our Chinese Protoss playing for Zenith of Origins. It is Top. And this is the underdog, of course, for our series, playing against the mighty Titan. Probably one of the last players you ever want to have to play against in a StarCraft 2 competitive match, because this guy, he just does not lose very much. Our red Terran player playing for Team Liquid, it is TaeJa.
You know, normally you would say that the round of 32 is almost like a formality for TaeJa. He's not supposed to drop out over here. I don't think he has ever dropped out of the round of 32 in America. He's always made it at least to the round of 16. He had a couple of early exits and he often didn't go as far as we thought. Of course, like if he makes it to the semi-final and he loses in a nail-biting TVT series against Spolt, which is something that happened in Season 2 last year, you know, you can't fault him for that. Of course, nobody can always win. But TaeJa is definitely a play that you expect to go a little further than the round of 16 or even the round of 8, especially when the bracket looks so good for him like it did last season. But even online, he has struggled a little bit in the past in the round of 32. He's always made it out, but a few times he has lost his first series of the day. I don't think that today he wants to lose his first series of the day, because if that would happen, it is very likely he's going to have his tournament life on the line against either Neep or Czech already, and both are very dangerous opponents, as we saw Neep going last season, playing extremely well against Bolt.
Yeah, his TVT was very on point. In a couple of those games, he definitely could have taken a Bolt. So this is one of those groups you just like to get out. You'd like to be done with this one as fast as possible because there's so much talent in here. Of course, just looking at the way both of these players have opened, very standard so far from Top. And TaeJa going for the command center first, playing a very economic opening, getting 2 barracks up afterwards, so very standard.
Now, Top has defeated a lot of good Terran plays in the past. I recall seeing him beat guys like Hack, and I think he even defeated Bomber once as well. But just kind of silly builds. In the old days, you know, when we still had different maps like Newkirk Precinct, I just saw him walk across the map with 1 base Blinkstalker, and he just killed Hack. You know, stuff that's not supposed to happen. Of course, he is playing with a little bit of latency. We are playing these games on the Korean server, so it is very good for TaeJa, and it should be quite good for Top as well, better than it would have been on the US server. But still, being from China, I wouldn't be too surprised to see Top fall back on some strong timing attacks and not really trying to adapt to what's going on in the game, more just saying like, hey, this is my game plan, I'm gonna try to execute this. If I have to make a minor adjustment, I will, but basically this, you know, connect the dots, and this is from, I want to take this to here, I want to take the Oracle to maybe that, and from that point on, I'm going to attack and just straight up try to win this game. I don't think that he's going in with a very open mindset of, let's say, oh, maybe I'll take a third base around this time, and then eventually try to get some map control and win on 4 bases or something like that. That's not really the top that I know, and not the top that I'm expecting to see today either.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the Chinese players, like you said, they kind of fall back onto not just timings, but also different play styles for particularly Protoss versus Terran. We've seen quite a bit of Phoenix Colossus setups that are often vaulted off of these Stargate openings, and we have the first Oracle on the way for top. And, you know, we know that this is a build that can do a lot of damage if there's not a proper preparation by the Terran player. TaeJa is going to have enough Marines off to ward an Oracle away, but covering both bases might be a bit difficult at the same time. It's going to come down to how aware TaeJa is of what's going on in and out of his base.
Yeah, he should be pretty damn well aware of it. The SCV was able to scout the Stargate. We can already see TaeJa rallying a bunch of Marines into his main base. This probe, by the way, Nate, it saw the bunker, but it did not actually see the command center. And you might think like, well, that's a guaranteed thing. There is a command center there, right? Well, we know that, but Top can't be that sure of it. And for all Top knows, you know, Oracle or maybe a proxy factory is out on the map, and it could still, you know, that bunker is just a complete fake, trying to sell something else. So Top can't be 100% sure yet of what he's playing against. And we even have a second Oracle in production. Now it's already getting a little funky to me.
Yeah, he wants to have a lot of ability to put on pressure. The first Oracle is going to zip on into the main base. Immediately gets the SCV building the factory. That's a very nice pickoff. Delay the tech of the Terran as much as possible. He's using the layout of the buildings against TaeJa to try to force these Marines to turn around. But you know what, Kev? He still hasn't really killed much of anything.
No, he hasn't really killed much. But I also feel that he's just going to follow this up maybe soon with a big gateway explosion. Actually, it's just Twilight Console. This is bizarre, Nate. You already said a lot of these Protoss players have kind of their own playstyle, pretty distinctive. 2 Oracles are going to fly in right now. 2 Oracles is easily enough to kill this group of Marines. Well, a few more reinforcements have arrived. But soon it's going to be 3 Oracles as well. And then I think that TaeJa is really going to need some missile turrets.
Yeah, he actually is building a fourth Oracle now.
What?
We're getting some MC levels of Oracles.
We're going to see Mass Oracle over here.
It's, you know, delaying this factory even more. That starport, the slower that comes in, the better for Protoss, always.
Okay, I really think that TaeJa has to start dropping missile turrets like ASAP. Yes, he has a good Marine count, but 18 Marines split over 2 locations is basically 9 Marines at each. 9 Marines are going to absolutely melt against 3 and soon to be 4 Oracles.
Yeah, I had to say this is not super common. We haven't really seen too much of this. Keeping track of the Marines would be nice, but I mean, with what it looks like his goal is to get super aggressive anyway.
Like, so he's hiding them as well. Like, he's faking this, and he's so happy right now. He's like, yeah, still no missile turret. He's like shaking in his chair right now. He's like, loving it. He has to go soon though, because he's gonna lose an Oracle. Okay, that really stinks.
Yeah, that definitely hurts. So he's got 3 Oracles in the top left of the, well, I guess the top left of TaeJa's base. That I guess it would have been.
Maybe this was a meta game. He's be like, TaeJa, you have nothing to worry about anymore.
The 5th Oracle he's built this game is also about to finish. This is like mass Oracle style. 5
Oracle into a Blink all-in. Is that what we're actually seeing over here? Like
this is a new one for me. I have not seen this one.
Okay, but right now Stim is ready, so one Stalker is going to fall as well. That sucks a little bit. So these Oracles are going to fly in. There will be a missile turret, but that missile turret is most likely going to die. At the same time, what's going to happen on the other side of the map with all these bioforces making their way across the middle of Frost? Nate, this is silly. I've seen a lot of StarCraft. Haven't seen this yet.
Yeah, this silly is one way to put it. Oracles are going to run in. He actually, target fires an SCV. He's going for the reactor on the starport, so try to slow down the production as much as he can. TaeJa's actually bringing his forces back, but you know, catching these Oracles will not be easy. I haven't seen someone go in, the 4 Oracle, kill all of your add-ons timing.
No, this is brand new to me. Well, was that Combat Shield that did finish up? Yeah, Combat Shield did finish up. That's a little bit unfortunate there. But all of the add-ons have been taken out by these Oracles. They still have energy. But this Bioforce is going to have a lot of DPS. There's not a single sentry over here. These Blink Stalkers are going to have to do it. There is a Photon Overcharge. With a few more weapons, I actually think that he can stabilize over here. What a bizarre strategy here by Top, but I have to say, I kind of love it.
He almost killed the barracks. That doesn't happen very often.
That is so sick.
Well, he certainly brought a unique
flavor
to this game.
Look at how many Blink Stalkers we have. I mean, there is not that much production. These units are kind of trapped on this side of the map as well. I think that Top is even looking for it. Man, imagine if he was able to snipe Combat Shield. He's going to attack TaeJa. This could really work. Like, the production is so much slowed down. There's only 2 medevacs out on the map. If those 2 medevacs fall...
TaeJa's army supply isn't too far behind, but it's on the other side of the map.
What is happening over here, Nate?
I don't...
He's gonna blink into the main base or something like that.
I don't want to believe...
I think he's gonna blink into the...
I don't want to believe what I'm seeing, Roddy. TaeJa's army's moving towards the natural as these Stalkers get to work in the main base of TaeJa. This Nexus, he's just going to A-click that. And there's absolutely nothing here to defend Top's base anymore. No, but there's nothing in TaeJa's base.
But there are 21 blink Stalkers, 28 blinks. Oh, he wiped in defensively. I don't like that move that much. I think that's a waste of Stalkers.
Those probes, man, they don't take damage very well.
This is a shame. He should have saved those Stalkers. Just like blink them out of the base over here on the south side. Alright, so TaeJa is going to lose his command centers. There are a lot of SCVs hiding behind his engineering bay. That +1 armor will most likely finish up. There is a bunker, and that bunker is going to be repaired for days.
I mean, he has enough Stalkers. It looks like if they all fired at once, he could maybe burst it down, but they're taking their time. Wow. Okay, the Oracles come in to kill the SCVs. This is really nice, so he's able to finally crack that bunker. He picked off 1 command center, maybe go for the second one now. And this is ridiculous because obviously TaeJa can lift his buildings and try to fly to some null airspace if there really is any on this map.
Is there on Frost?
I don't, not actually, I'm not 100% sure. I think there is a spot somewhere on the, like right outside the natural area. Like if you can tuck it in back there, but.
Where are you looking? Sorry.
I don't even, it's like right outside the natural, like the place where you would come in with a drop. There's a bit of space, yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
I'll be honest, I haven't gotten too many base trades on this map.
Okay, Widowmine is... Well, that's actually not that exciting.
I just know you can hide medevacs
Vision, use Vision. Every unit is really important right now for top.
Yeah, I mean, he killed the Stargate. I would have liked to see him try to squeeze out a Phoenix with a couple bucks he had, but, you know.
Okay, this Widowmine...
Yeah, he does have the Oracles to detect, but he needs to be careful because he could lose his Oracles to it as well.
He wants to use the energy. Okay, there's no energy at all at these units. Did one of the medevacs die?
You think Top's got it?
No. Okay, there are 2 more medevacs over here. I'm not sure if he's got it. Once again.
If the Marines and the Marauders can fight the Stalkers together, you feel like
in a straight-up fight
should destroy him. But he does have Blink as well.
Exactly, that's the point. Like this is a really hard situation to call when it comes to micro. I think if I was Top, if he's able to fight 1 medevac over here with 2 Marauders, that would be so massive.
Oh, this is a huge pickup for Top. Even just getting the medevac means no retreat anymore. He does grab it. And these bio units, those Marauders, they're going to get left behind.
These are 66% of the Marauders that are currently out on the map.
Yeah, and they have no help.
Whoa!
Oh, the scoop and score picks them up, so they're still alive for now. But I don't know, it's just every unit that's lost is such a huge drop. TaeJa's managed to get a command center on the bottom left. He's planted some barracks in the bottom center of the
Marauders. He can actually produce a lot of them. It's really important that Top finds this. TaeJa still has quite a bit of money as well, so even if this command center stops mining, it's probably going to fall. I don't think that TaeJa minds that much. Obviously, he would rather keep it alive, but it's much more important that he's able to get 4, 5, 6 Marauders out over here. Okay, he did take care of these Widow Mines. That is nice. He needs to kill the supply depots because TaeJa is able to get a lot of additional Marauders out.
The supply depots are a really, really big deal. This command center, TaeJa's looking for an opportunity to try to repair it, maybe, but...
saving those 2 Marauders was massive. Now he gets an extra Marauder, and soon, like if he gets 6 or 7...
This little bit of production is so nice.
Wow, TaeJa. TaeJa's hating.
Guys, why?
No, he didn't kill one of the guys. He killed one of those critters.
Oh.
I forgot how it's called. I didn't even see. It was this, I think. It's called a Leote.
Lyo.
A Lyot?
Leote.
Wow, TaeJa, you cruel beast. Okay, this is actually going to be dicey already as well. These Stalkers can't see what we see. Let's not underestimate the Oracles, by the way. They're gonna kill.
Yeah, they should.
They want to kill.
They have to make sure, of course, that he doesn't target them onto the Marauders. There's a revelation. He's like, can I take this? And he's just going to go for it. Blinks right on top. Oracles die very quickly, and we can see Stalkers do not trade very well versus this Marauder force. And maybe the cat and mouse game was the best way to do it, but unfortunately for Top, it's not going to cut it this game.
Top said YOLO, and it backfired.
Yeah,
he did die.
Do you feel if you just try to blink him back 1 at a time against that, it would have been more effective than just jumping right onto the bio?
Yeah, it's really, I mean, obviously, afterwards I can say that that blink was a bad decision. I think everyone can agree with this. If you guys agree with this, let us know. Hashtag WCS. Do you think that blink was a good idea? Meanwhile, the remaining of these Stalkers will fall as well, and TaeJa is going to win game number 1 after a super YOLO swag 420 blink there by Top. I'm not sure. Like, the moment there were only 3 Marauders out on the field, I really believed in the power of those Blink Stalkers. But I'm not sure how effective your Blink Stalker micro is going to be. As soon as we have, you know, 5, 6, 7 Marauders, it's almost impossible to Blink Stalker micro against that.
And he had his concussive shells as well, so you can't try to just move them away.
I think the best thing that he could have done is like drop a revelation, like exactly like he did. Make sure that he finds those Rexes with the oracles and just start chipping away these medevacs, because those medevacs, you know, once you put on some real damage on that, I don't think there were a lot of SCVs left, maybe one. So I feel like every shot on the medevac is real damage that will stay there for a while.
Yeah.
So I think like starting to chip away those medevacs. But like just to go back to an early stage in that game, I think the decision to warp in 6, 7 Stalkers in his main base, I think that was a big mistake, because those Stalkers, you know, Stalkers and probes are not going to kill 2 medevacs full of bio. There's no way. The DPS is way too high. So if he just like evacuates those Stalkers in the bottom of his base via the right side, which he had time for because TaeJa was obviously occupied with everything else that was going on, maybe he loses 1 or 2, but in the end he still gets 4 or 5 extra units out, and that makes a big difference, because on a certain point when this base trade started, I looked at production tab and it said 28 Stalkers. But once we truly started base trading, it was like 17 Stalkers. And of course, he lost a few against that bunker in the natural. But I think having, you know, either 24 Stalkers or 17 makes a big difference.
Yeah, having a couple more units in those situations is pretty big. It was nice that TaeJa was able to get some of his barracks spread out to build those extra Marauders as well. And that was certainly an interesting game, to say the least, to kick off our group here for WCS America. Second map will be played on Merry-Go-Round. And I'm wondering if we're going to see any more hijinks out of top. The 5 Oracle into Blink Stalker timing.
Into sniping the add-ons. Let's not forget
into
that.
sniping the add-ons may become a thing after today. Who knows?
Wow, I'm not sure if I feel sorry for all the Terran players that are going to face this threat.
Hydra Tech Labs, Hydra Reactors, because they're sniping all the add-ons out here.
5 Oracle into Blink build.
5.
It's really sick. You know, who needs the Void Ray when you have the Oracle who can do the exact same thing and also actually kills Marines? Yeah. Either way, game number 2 is live. It is going to be played on Merry-Go-Round, like Nate said, and I'm very curious to see what Top has in store for us. I hope it's going to be as crazy. That last game actually made me smile, just because like I have not seen that yet, and that always makes me smile.
That's the beautiful thing about StarCraft. There's always some crazy stuff being cooked up, and we saw it from this guy in the bottom position, our blue Protoss. From Zenith of Origins, it is Top.
That blink.
That blink. that 5 Oracle.
that final blink, it was a little bit anticlimactic, because this game could have been truly epic, and it was kind of epic. And then like he's blinking forward, and this is not a good idea.
No.
It's like blinking into 6 Marauders. Ugh.
No, that's. So if you, I don't know if there's any way to describe that other than just being a bad move. His opponent, of course, in the top right, our red Terran, TaeJa, is going to open gas first.
TaeJa switching it up. That's something he always does, by the way, in this TVP matchup. It's really cool. Whenever you watch TaeJa play a best of 5 or a best of 7, he switches up his opening almost every single time. And it might seem like the difference is not that big, but he will always throw in a command center first. Then it's going to be a gas first. Then it's going to be a 2 Reaper opening. Sometimes it's like you know, 1 Rex expand and then another Rex. Sometimes it's a 3 Rex opening. Sometimes he even proxies a factory. TaeJa is extremely hard to predict, and I've casted so many of his best of 5s or best of 7s where he did a slightly different opening every single map. Makes it a nightmare to play against as a Protoss, because you would love to just be sure of what you're playing against and hit that Chrono Boost button on your Nexus all the time.
Yeah, the thing is, this build, especially on this map, has a lot of versatility, because even though there's those air blockers, there's still a lot of directions you can go into the main base or the natural from the air. So fast medevac play off of a quick factory can do a lot of damage with Widow Mines. We saw QXC do some interesting proxy factory play, but with no SCVs on the map, that's not really in the cards. So
even though that factory was really late by QXC as well.
Yeah.
This is such a quick factory by TaeJa, pretty much the quickest that Terran can possibly get when it goes down around the 3-minute mark, or even slightly before that. It's really sick. Now, I'm curious to see how Top is going to deal with this. It seems like for now it's just going to be a 1-gate fast expand, and the follow-up is going to be extremely important. I wonder if he's going to scout as well. I guess not, because he hasn't scouted yet. He's sending out a probe right now. I don't think it's going to be able to see what it wants to see. Maybe if he somehow gets lucky and sneaks by, but most of the time, though, when a Protoss scouts this late, they will go 1-gate robo, because, you know, otherwise you're just rolling the dice.
Yeah.
Then again, I do know that Top is not a Protoss player that's afraid to roll the dice.
That's true. I think we learned that last game. Widowmine in production as well as in medevac. So this, once you see the Terran player build more than one Marine, if they don't go straight for the reactor, oftentimes it is just for this fast. You usually drop the Widowmine with 6 Marines. Probe does not get in and see anything at all. But you want to drop 6 Marines in a Widowmine. And oftentimes, once that Widowmine's complete, you see the Terran player start up a Hellion or 2. And you just try to run the Hellions in while you drop. On this map, dropping that ramp area is so good because the range of the photon overcharge, it doesn't reach anywhere near that cliff from the main base. So it puts you in an awkward position where you're not really fighting in either of your bases. The mothership core is much less useful for defending on this map.
No robo just yet. I'm a little bit surprised because normally if Protoss player does see this, you know, no bunker in the low ground, no command center yet, but you do see 3 or 4 Marines, you're like, all right, that's most likely a quick factory opening. But still, just that single gateway, 2 more gates being added now, that even before the robo. He's gonna have to make damn sure, the way that he's playing this, that he snipes the Widowmine before they burrow in dicey positions. Otherwise, he's not going to mine for a long, long time.
Yeah, we've seen what the Widowmines can do in this matchup, especially from that series we watched of QXC. The Stalker sees SCV moving out, and I think he saw one of the Hellions as well, took a bit of damage. So what he does is he runs into the natural, and he could try to force a photon overcharge here, but in my experience...
Top is mothership course out of position. It's actually quite far away from the main. Here comes that medevac. There is a forge on the way, but it's still going to take a little while before he's ever going to have a cannon in detection. Immediately losing a little bit of mining time. The mothership core is going to take damage, but... Okay, he's just going to burrow it on top of the ramp. That's interesting.
Yeah, I like this. You just go to the base, leave the mine on the ramp in case any units try to come down and defend before warp gate's done.
I'm really confused because there are 2 Stalkers in the middle of the map and they're just going to chill there for a while. It seems like Top is just going to try to counterattack with his 3 gateways. TaeJa is aware of what's going on as well. He's like, this is not supposed to happen. Oh, this is really important. He finds the Widowmine, but the Widowmine is still going to burrow. It's going to shoot a Stalker. Yes,
Ouch.
It does.
Gets all the shields as well, so these Marines can start to get to work on it. Pylon being placed in the natural.
Top can still do this though. There's like almost nothing for TaeJa. There is no bunker. If I was TaeJa, I would bring my units back home. He's gonna have to pull SCVs because he needs to stabilize. If 2 or 3 more Stalkers are being wiped in, how is TaeJa going to deal with this?
He's got another Widowmine coming out. You know, SCVs can kind of go toe-to-toe with Stalkers when you don't have the Zealots that would kill them super fast. He loses another one. That Stalker, barely any hit points left. And these games, man, this has been a little bit crazy with the way that Top's handling these situations.
I still really like how this is going for Top, though. Like, there's no stim on the way. There are just a few Marines. Most Marines are not here. He's getting a Pylon on the high ground. That means that he can avoid that Widowmine on the low ground. There is one more Widowmine over here, but he could always wipe in a Zealot. There is still money to wipe in additional units as well. Top is killing a lot of things over here, basically.
And this medevac came back with the Marines. He built a cannon in his base to kill the Widowmines with. He does still get double kill off that second Widowmine shot.
Okay, and TaeJa brought in his forces at home. I think that's very smart. But there is still high ground vision, so these Stalkers can still shoot at this for a while. It's going to be a micro warp. Top needs one more warp in, and that's all that he needs. Like 2 or 3 more Stalkers could really make the difference, but he's not going to get it. Not yet, at least.
Oh my goodness, the Zealot's being warped in. He's got another Stalker coming in. This is really difficult. Widowmine burrows again. He should be able to pick off a Stalker, gets the shields off another one, but you know, Kev, those pylons are still there if he wants to reinforce. As soon as the momentum shifts into Top's favor, he can reinforce very quickly.
4 Marines are not going to cut it against 3 Stalkers, well, maybe with a little bit of healing, but soon just one more warp in, and there we go. Now if he stops running into those mines, even though TaeJa has done a really good job in positioning them, I still think that Top can do it. He's blocking his own Stalker there. This pylon is so pivotal right now, by the way, because it provides that high ground vision that makes these Stalkers 100 times more useful.
Yeah, very, very nice to have Stalkers coming into the main, trying to pick off each and every one of these Marines. SCVs are going to come from behind to try to prevent them from escaping. Widowmine's going to burrow and
shoot.
Maybe kill a bunch of SCVs. No, actually hits one of the Stalkers on the left side, so keeps him alive. SCVs get the surround on one of the Stalkers. He's chewing this out, but the constant warp and reinforcements, that supply getting lower and lower for TaeJa. Widowmine in his natural, not able to have any use in this situation at all.
Really cool play over here by Top, just like ignoring the natural and be like, hey, if you open like that, then most likely you're following this up with a command center and you're just not going to have that many units at home. TaeJa is still not giving up. He's producing Marines 4 at a time right now, but he has more Marines on the map than SCVs, and sometimes that's okay, but when you only have 5 Marines, that is not okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's still got the power of the mule to fall back on. The mothership core came over. It ate one of those Widowmine shots, so
sick micro, but TaeJa
it was
as
very
well.
easy pick off. Yeah, this picking up these individual Marines, this is the level of play that he needs to pull this game out, and I think this Marine count's just getting higher and higher. He might be able to do it. These Stalkers are so low. He could just boost in the medevac and drop on the Stalkers.
He's trapping them now as well. Mule's being dropped. TaeJa's actually going to be able to stabilize. He's going to clean up these Stalkers. This is absolutely ridiculous. Reminds me a tiny bit of what Sky and Moons once upon a time did in a Warcraft 3 match with Zeppelin Micro. TaeJa's stabilized, but he only has 3 SCVs. I mean, I do believe in the power of the Mule as well. He did take out this Nexus, by the way. I never even realized that.
Yeah, he picked it off before that medevac went home. And, you know, with that second command center still being done for TaeJa, he'll be able to go into double Mule very quickly. These Stalkers want to bring forward pressure. Now that this pylon's gone, though, he can hold the high ground with his Widow Mines as well. And I don't think this is breakable anymore for top.
No, I think the top is going to have to transition from this point on, which is not bad, of course, because let's be honest, he's still up 20 workers. TaeJa is going to try to drop immediately. Of course, this is something that we know top can't possibly notice. He has no way to scout, but he does still have this one cannon that is so important.
Yeah, that cannon, very, very nice to help keep the Widow Mines away.
What a series so far, Nate.
What a series, Kev. Twilight Council, so still no mobile detection, though. Even if he goes into Blink or Dark Templar, I guess, what would you like more? Because I think Blink Stalkers would be hard to make work without observers with this many mines on the map.
But I think he's going to have so many Blink Stalkers that I think he can still make it work, or maybe send in some hallucinations. He's getting sentries right now. I think TaeJa is going to be very sad. Oh, if he loses this medevac, he might just leave. But he's not going to lose it. I mean, if TaeJa pulls this off, that's up there among the greatest comebacks of all time, let's be honest. He had pylons and Stalkers in his base. There were more Stalkers in his base than he had Marines. He fell down all the way to, I believe, 5 SCVs. It may have been even less at a certain point.
The medevacs were the real game changers. He was able to pick up and put down so often, dodging the Stalker shots, but also, you know, keeping them alive. And
completely neglecting the damage. Like healing up Marines or like picking them up is one thing, but he was picking those Marines up while those Stalker shots were mid-air. So it was just complete unanswered damage. And also raising the depots, making sure that those Stalkers couldn't run around anymore. Okay, he is getting stim now.
Yeah, TaeJa's just going to try to play this one out. Widow Mines to try to get to that natural. Burrows, but nothing to kill.
Then again, it's still going to be annoying for a while. It's a little bit of a scout.
Yeah, the robotics facility is on the way, and he is getting Blink with +1, but the robo facility is really what he needs to move forward with this game as far as his tech goes, because otherwise those mines can just become so much of a headache.
I mean, I sort of believe, Nate. Am I stupid for believing?
In TaeJa?
Yeah.
You know, the worst mistake any man can make is doubting that TaeJa can come back from a bad situation.
But I think that he can sort of do this.
I think it's actually even with TaeJa.
TaeJa's ahead, guys. no, but like, take a look at the work here. Take a look at the income tab. We're going to ignore this part. Okay, yeah, Stop is up 16 workers, and that's massive, of course, for a Protoss player. But and take a look at the income. It's relatively even. Gas-wise, you know, TaeJa doesn't need that much gas right now. All that he needs is Marines and Marauders. Because that's going to keep him alive, and then eventually he can always just keep building and keep working on his economy. He can truly come back. He has 3 medevacs out right now. Stim is more than halfway done, and Stim is actually about to finish up. After Stim, he can just get Combat Shield. I think TaeJa is going to turn this into a game.
Yeah, well, the thing is, TaeJa has all the tech he really needs, whereas there's still not a Colossus out on the map yet. Like, this is the gateway units. Sure, he's had this lead, but I mean, if he gets in there with 1 drop with Stim and there's no Colossus, well, he could destroy half this army.
Yeah, I feel that Top is doing a little bit too much of everything right now. He's getting a lot of gates, he's getting a robo away, he got Blink, but he didn't really commit to the Blink Stalkers. I guess he was afraid of just running around for a while, not being able to catch up with medevacs. But his army in a straight-up engagement right now is extremely weak. There is so much more DPS in this army of TaeJa. Top is going to have to drop force fields immediately, but this is a pretty big ramp. I'm actually worried for Top right now. He needs... Does he have a mothership core? Yes, he does. He needs to drop photon overcharge, and he needs to drop good force fields.
Well, he was able to get up that ramp. The first force fields are going to keep this army away from the main force. So Photon Overcharge gets to work at the same time.
Look at the focus
into
fire.
The main base, and he's trying to pick off these individual Stalkers, but he's forced to pull back now. Widow Mines will burrow, but that's just Warp Prism getting in. 4 Zealots inside of TaeJa's base, making things a little bit difficult, and he's doing some cute drop micro of his own.
Yeah, Top showing us that he can drop as well, but it's still not going to be enough. The force fields have expired. Okay, TaeJa did lose enough bio units to make it hard for him to keep pushing the issue over here. And he didn't lose too many SCVs yet at home. However, now more Zealots are being wiped in. That's a little bit unfortunate for TaeJa. These Marauders are dying as well. TaeJa's going to have to abandon his little attack. It got close over there. But yeah, in the end, TaeJa realizing that he's losing too many SCVs now at home. And we won't see one of the most miraculous comebacks of all time. But TaeJa gave us hope. That was a cool game, though.
It was. It was. I find myself hard-pressed to ever doubt TaeJa. And in that position, you know, if the force gets in, if he misses those force fields, completely different game. The Warp Prism was really what sealed the deal because TaeJa had to commit absolutely everything to attacking. He had so little to work with in his main base. Like, he didn't even have depots spread out. It was one of those, I need to survive, I need to get some damage done. But with the Colossus out and the Zealots in his base, there was really no way for him to come back from that point. But, man, the way that those openers crashed, it's scary. Oftentimes with gas first builds like that, you try to, like that, getting that bunker up is so, it's like usually not your top priority because like, well, I'm about to attack the guy.
Yeah.
I don't need any defense. And then you get into these really awkward spots where either the push does no damage or your opponent has stalkers out on the map. Which
yeah, or your
crazy.
opponent just does not care about his expanded on. It's be like, yeah, kill my expand. I'm going to try to kill you. And I guess normally that would have worked. Without that bunker being up, then I guess normally that's just game over. You know, you're wiping consistently units from 3 bases, especially after getting the pylon up as well. Was a really fun game with a lot of cute moves on both sides. Like I even thought, like in the final moments when TaeJa started attacking, those forces went down. We saw top blinking his Stalkers back. Obviously that's something. And TaeJa selected like 2 Marauders and he sent them in a little forward. And those 2 Marauders were focusing the Stalkers that had blink on cooldown. It's like those small things. It's like, oh, TaeJa, you're so good at this game.
Yeah, really cool. And another tiny thing I really liked was the way that Top built the cannon in TaeJa's natural. Like,
so smart.
You'd think it's like, okay, well, he built a cannon. This is like a bit ludicrous, but no, he helped. He killed 2 Widow Mines with it. He also killed, like, bought time, and he killed a Marine or 2 that were trying to break down that ramp, and allows. It's not just the cannon does damage, but it lets the Stalkers also get in extra hits. So Top, he seems much more familiar with these crazy situations than perhaps us.
The Top is like basically the Protoss version of Cats, you know. Don't go into crazy games with him because he'll probably know what to do. He has a lot of experience in it. Either way, game number 3 is going to be played on Habitation Station. I'm curious to see what Top has in store for us because I think it's just going to be a treat to watch him play for the rest of the day. You know, if he plays against Zerg, then often people are face-palming and they're like, oh, this is what I hate against Protoss. But against Terran, it's actually very refreshing to see the decision-making that he was going for. Because
this isn't even your standard stuff you hate playing versus Terran.
No, this is just fun to watch.
Yeah.
I like the 5 Oracle into sniping add-ons.
The 5 Oracle add-on sniping build is my favorite.
I wouldn't be surprised if Top goes for the 1 base, fast expanded the gold base, and then goes for the Void Ray push. That seems like a strategy that fits right into his playbook. What do you think?
Yeah, that's yeah. I'd actually like that quite a bit. It's I think it's one of the builds that was really heavily picked on this map, particularly when we looked at Season 1 finals of WCS Europe. I remember a lot of the PVT ended up with that very fast gold base being taken.
MC against MMA. MMA having like 7 bunkers, missile turrets, and Widow Mines, and still barely hanging in there. Then you know that it's a good build.
Well, we've got a 10 supply gateway out of Top, so very fast potential for him to get some Zealot Stalker Mothership Core aggression going, and potentially off the back of that, take either the gold base or maybe just 1 base it. You know, that seems to be one of Top's things as well.
Once again, the loser of this series will play against the loser of our next series, which is going to be Neep versus Jack. If you just joined us, this is our very first series of the day, so there is a lot of StarCraft ahead of us. We've had a fun day yesterday with a couple of crazy games. It started off really good, and I think today should be a fun day as well. Once again, TaeJa is the big favorite, but I think the Top has already shown us that he's not going to make it look not going to go easy on TaeJa today. And we're also playing these games on the Korean server because both players prefer to play on that server, and then we can switch up the server. And Top is also a Grandmaster League player on the Korean server, so don't underestimate our Chinese players. They're very good.
Yes, they are. TaeJa's opened up with a slightly later gas. He can get an SCV Scout and a Marine, but this seems like one of the more safe builds you want to open with. Of course, this map doesn't really have any cliffs that you can abuse Reapers with, so it's not only hard to scout with them, but they don't really get a whole lot done for you. So instead, preferring to have this worker go in. And I think this is one of those situations where you'd notice that Cybernetics core feels like it might have finished a bit sooner than I anticipated.
TaeJa knows that kind of stuff. Like TaeJa once upon a time in an interview as well, I think it's Todd who asked him a question, or maybe it wasn't even an official interview, it was just after the game. And they're like, hey, you scouted with the SCV and then you did X and Y. I forgot the exact details of the game. They're like, why did you do that? How did you make the correct call? He's like, oh, I counted the workers and he had 1 worker less than he was supposed to have. And we're just standing there like, what? Really, TaeJa? That's what you do? Like in the blink of an eye, he just counts the workers immediately and he realizes that things are off by 5 seconds. It's like, you're a little too good at this game. It's supposed to be fun, TaeJa. Don't be so serious.
So what happens when you play versus someone that just makes a mistake and skips a promo?
I think this is going to be a really quick 3-gate or something, but the SCV is going to scout this pylon as well. So if TaeJa wasn't aware yet of the fact that this Cybercore was up a little quick, then perhaps he does know right now.
Yeah, I mean, his factory is on the way. He's going to start a bunker at the top of his ramp. The Mothership Core is coming in. I like that these Marines are chasing the Stalker so well because the Mothership Core can't get any hits in. And he actually buys himself quite a bit of time, I feel. That Stalker does not have any shields left. Stargate is in production. He's going to try to poke this depot from the low ground.
Top did that pretty poor. He took way too much damage on that Stalker. If he would have just waited for 1 second or just peek up the ramp and then go back immediately, he could have done more damage. But right now it can still be annoying. As long as that bunker is not up, these Stalkers are a very, very serious threat. But he could have actually picked up that SUV so easily when he doesn't know. At least he's going to get this... Wait.
He might get the depot. You know, this is one of those things that I thought was really interesting about when they reduced the Mothership Core's vision radius.
Do you think this could be Proxy Tempest, Nate?
No.
No?
I don't want to believe, Roddy.
I want to believe.
I don't want to believe he would do
He's
this.
going to open up with an Oracle. Like, anything else would just be crazy. Most likely it's going to be a Void Ray follow-up. I don't think it's just the Oracle and nothing else behind that. We're going to see some gateways go down right now. This Widowmine is close, but I think the top can see it. We can get a couple of shots off. Of course, this Widowmine will eventually get detected. Top has to worry about what goes on at home as well. Because often if you give a Terran too much time, do we have a starport on the way? Yes, we do. First medevac is in production. Let's not forget, if that starport, or if that medevac flies across the map, it could create a lot of trouble in the main base of top.
Pylon on the way in TaeJa's natural. He is fully committed to this, as TaeJa has also put a very small block onto the expansion of his opponent. Oracle's going to zip in and grab itself 4 very quick kills.
And there's actually quite a scary Oracle because the Widowmine's out of position as well. The Oracle's getting some serious work done against the 1-base Terran. It will fall though.
You think it was worth it?
It was worth it if he would have kept it alive. I don't think he had to lose it there, especially because he's like, okay, he's even getting the gates as well. Like, Top is just going super crazy all in with this. Probably going to use Envision soon on one of these Oracles. The fact that he lost an Oracle is really painful. One Widowmine is going to be dropped on the other side of the map. I love that a lot, because that's going to force one other Widowmine to make his way all the way home. And then a couple of defensive weapons as well. So what is he going to do? He's taking a lot of damage. This is going quite bad for Top. Like, this Widowmine is going to force an Oracle to come home. It's going to force defensive weapons. It's basically a lot of bad news.
Yeah, TaeJa's SCV comes back, sees a bit of the base being built outside his base. And, Widowmine starting to get to work. 2 kills, but, you know, you're right. It forces a response. Oracles are going to run into the main base. There's still no missile turrets. Well, these Marines are doing a decent job of pushing him back.
If he wouldn't have lost that other Oracle, this could have been really dicey for TaeJa, but right now I think he's going to be more than fine.
Yeah, these Oracles going to town on the Marines, and TaeJa,
maybe not more than fine.
Suddenly that main base is kind of forfeit. He did have a Widowmine in there, but unburrowed it, and that was picked off as well. These Oracles doing a surprising amount of damage.
Well, TaeJa's getting very unfortunate with his Widowmine shot so far. He got 3 kills in 2 hits. Let's not forget that we saw Widowmine yesterday kill 7 probes, and those probes were not even stacked in 1 hit.
No, they were not. That probe's like, I would like to expand, please. Nope, everything's there. Oh, it gets the Mothership Core. Stalker's not allowed to recall out that concussive shell, paying for itself very, very well. And that's suddenly a really tough spot. Oracle runs in. I mean, he's managed to kill another good dozen or so SCVs in a few seconds, but the Viking being out should be enough to buy him some time. That Widowmine finally getting destroyed. But so here's the thing, Kev, right? He's got 2 gateways outside of TaeJa's base. If he shuts those down, this is one of those moments
where you really hate live and you're like, oh, why did I wipe in those gateways there? I really didn't have to do that. Like, there's just no saving these gates. He has a lot of Oracles, though. Sweet Jesus. I mean, there is a Viking. How many are there? Just 2 Vikings, but even 2 Look at these Oracles. They're getting really close to those Widowmines.
4 Oracles trying to go to work on these Marines. TaeJa picks up, moves away. Of course, he's still one of those Oracles was still using its vision, so he can see those Widowmines, and now he's going to run in towards the mineral line. Now the Vikings are here, though. This put an end to this madness.
Oh, he's gonna get... The Widow Mines are here, no? The Widow
he
Mines shot at something. What did he shoot at? Stalkers?
Maybe. I think so. Well, anyway, he's going to finish killing off these gateways. He tries to repower him. He's like, I need this production. I have an Oracle on the way. I need more Oracles, I think is like the call sign of top. But this Bioforce is going to push him back. Finally, with the Vikings there, these Oracles cannot just come in and snipe these units off. There's one lone Zealot, not enough. Pylon does finish. He's going to start warping in a few Zealots while he brings in the Oracles. But the Widow Mine's detonating as well. Clear everything out, and GG is called. TaeJa is going to go to our winners match in maybe one of the craziest series I've seen, not just in WCS, but that series, that was almost disturbing levels of randomness.
I don't think I could have said it any better. Indeed, TaeJa advances, but don't ask how. Don't even try to write a summary about these games, because no one is going to believe you. They'll be like, you're drunk. Like, stop writing about StarCraft when you're drinking. But this actually happened. Just, I don't know, a lot of oracles, a lot of proxies. Just to say something useful about this game, I really feel that this first Stalker, if that first Stalker didn't misclick, it could have done so much more, because again, it could have delayed that Stalker was already halfway across the map. If you have two Stalkers and you have the Mothership Core there providing high ground vision, those 4 Marines are not going to keep that bunker alive. That bunker would have been only halfway done. That one SCV that was building it only had like 5 HP anyway. And I think if he slows that down, like that's where it all starts. If you're already able to do economic damage in such an early phase in the game, the follow-up with the Oracle would have been even more deadly than it already was. And also losing that first Oracle, I think that was very unnecessary. But
I mean, it's one of those situations where the Oracle, as long as you said, you keep it alive, it gets the energy back, and it's a couple of those times where he ran in, he was able to kill off pretty much all the Marines that were inside of TaeJa's base. He had a good amount of opportunities to get a lot more done, but also have to give credit to TaeJa for taking advantage of, you know, the placement of his opponent's army, because he was able to get that one Widow Mine across the map. He didn't fully commit and send Marines with it as well. He knew he had just enough to try to at least punish top for staying on his half of the map for most of that game.
And it's not just the position of the army, but also the position of the gateways.
The gateways.
There are a couple of people perhaps out there right now wondering, like, so why did he build his gateways there? Like, what's the point? There really isn't any point, guys. It's just sometimes when you're proxying, you just don't really care. It is not like he's trying to hide something with a scan or something. That really is not a valid reason.
He just wants to go ham.
Yeah, it's just like he's doing stuff in the natural, and he's like, I need gates, and then just wipes them in there. It's something that like I sometimes do as well when I start proxying. It's like, well, I'm already all in anyway, so this doesn't make a difference.
And that's like when I 2-Rex build supply depots like at your bunkers. Like,
it's just like, well,
I need them.
It's like, I'm all in anyway, so I might as well just do it. And then you get in this bizarre scenario where you kind of do a lot of damage, so you're not really dead yet, and it didn't work, but it is kind of looking bad, and then you lose those gates, and you're like, oh man, I really shouldn't have built those gates there. There was no reason. But I think even if he wouldn't have had those gateways there, and he wouldn't have prioritized, like, trying to keep them alive at all costs, it would have still been kind of bad for him, because he's playing as a Terran with 2 command centers.
Yeah.
And even if he's up 7 workers, what is 7 workers going to do against double orbital?
Hey man, we saw what TaeJa almost did on merry-go-round with only 2 orbitals and what 3 SCVs. So I think I do agree there. It's one of those positions where you kind of just gotta throw everything in that you can.
Anyway, it was a fun first series of the day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. We're gonna head over to a very small commercial break, and after that we'll be back with our American Terran player Neep going up the Korean Zerg player Czech, which should be one hell of a series. So guys, stay tuned, and we'll be right back.